Hello, thank you so very much for joining me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I appreciate you giving up a few minutes of your time to listen to what I offer, what I want to share with you. And today it's been a misty, moisty day, so I'm inside. And I've mentioned before that I begin and end my days, so I sandwich my days with gratitude. Things that I've been grateful for that day and that night. And very often the morning one is, I'm grateful that I only had to get out of bed and go to the loo once in the night. Those of a certain age will know exactly what I mean by that. But there are always things, such as grateful that I have a bed to sleep in. And at this time of the year, I was brought up to think of others who probably hadn't got what I had. And I have to say that my family didn't have a lot anyway. We lived in a very small terraced house, not many worldly goods, but plenty of love, which for me was the essential ingredient. But at this time of the year, I was always expected to, isn't the right word, because it was part of me. I was a willing participant. I often was the suggester, the person who suggested that it was about time that we did this. But I would go through my books, my toys, and make a bag up for children who were in an orphanage in Manchester, an orphanage that I used to go and do dancing displays in. Instead of the stages that we used to dance on, when we went there, it was just a little bit the end of the room that we were able to do our singing and dancing in. I was amazed, having been brought up in a nonconformist household. I was amazed to see the huge wimples that the nuns who ran the convent still wore. I had to try and not stare at them, but the children were always really happy to see us. They clapped and joined in, and then afterwards we all had tea sitting down together, and it's stopped in my memory banks ever since. So at this time of the year, I've not got toys and things to gather together, but I have taken things to the charity shop, and I will also be going through my gratitude for the past year. And I like to have a concrete something to help me with that. This year's concrete something are a couple of flowers. And I shall choose which one. They are, shall we say, past their prime. They really were gorgeous. A friend came round for lunch a couple of weeks ago, and they've survived since then. I've just cut the rest of them down to go into a smaller vase. And so my first piece of gratitude is that I have a lovely friend with whom I spent a happy day. In fact, there's two come out together there. So that's two friends, because I went out for a day with another on Saturday. And I just go through that process. I won't bore you with the rest of my gratitudes. But I do include things like I have food in the cupboards. I have wood in my wood store. Yeah, I've got layers on in the house so that I'm not having to put the heating on. But behind me in there, I have a wood burner burning, so I can be nice and snug in there. But I find that by focusing on something like this poor little flower, I always feel wrong decapitating it, but its companions, who were, even as I would have said as a child, more deader than these, they are waiting to go out in the morning into the composters, and these petals and these flowers will join them when I have gone through the rest of my gratitude. But I can't finish this without saying I am grateful to each and every one of you who has listened, subscribed, commented to my vlogs over the past weeks and months. I really can't tell you how much it means. It means so very much. So I'm going to give you another petal to those who have added the comments, which have made me smile, which have given me food for thought, and which make me realise that now I'm not always sitting talking to myself. That's it. End of. I will continue now with, I only need one of them, I don't need two, with my gratitude, and wish you a pleasant rest of your day, and thanks again for joining me. You take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.